Welcome to the How-To section. The purpose of this video is to familiarize ourselves with the steps needed to navigate both web apps and learn how to create a product in Google Maps and JUX. The goals and objectives of this presentation are: create and save a simple map that includes 5 locations which have been place-marked and feature a brief description of each locale. 2. To create a photo map using Google Maps and the photo section that consists of at least 5 images that coincide with our place-marked locations. And third, to create a digital story using JUX as a storytelling web application. Assessments for Google Maps and JUX. Given a list of basic locations, like be work, home, or various locations, create a map with place marks on at least 5 locations, including brief descriptions of each locale. 2 is to place marked photos that coincide with your favorite locations. And 3, to create a digital story within JUX and provide a brief summary of each picture, using images from Google Maps as your inspiration. Now let's move on and view a finished product within both Google Maps and JUX. Here we have a product that was completed by one of my 5th grade students. The student chose to complete his assignment on the American Civil War. You can see that the student has placed a series of place marks within his map. With each place mark, the student has added a brief summary describing the importance of the locations. The information found within these summaries stems from research carried out by the student. As you can see, as we view the work, a reference page was not included, which opens up possibilities for future lessons in regards to citing work and avoiding copyright violations. If you turn your attention to the left side of the screen, you will see a rundown of the locales that match up with the place marks on the map, along with summaries. As I stated, this lesson was for 5th grade students, but the wonderful option about Google Maps is that the student from kindergarten through college can enjoy the multiple functions, and educators can adjust their lessons to meet the academic needs of the students. Now with each of these place marks, we're able to zoom in on the locations and see what the areas look like today. As we zoom in, we'll begin to get a little clearer image of what the locations are. Also, by clicking on the photo tab, which is found in this location of Google Maps, you will have the option for future lessons and discussions. In this case, you can see that the student has placed his place mark that wasn't exactly on the correct location. What has happened is the student has failed to zoom in and instead has just clicked to a location fairly close, but as you can tell, it's not exactly right. And here we have all the images that are associated with this specific location on the student's completed Google map. Now let's move over to the JUX that was completed by the same student. The JUX corresponds to the previous Google Map presentation. The summaries within JUX are the same as the ones in Google Maps. Again, they stem from research completed by the student using online resources and books found in the library. The images are all images taken from the Photo tab that I just showed you in Google Maps. Because of technology not allowing students to access JUX at school, I allowed the student to use my account to finish his assignment. This was at first a limitation with JUX, but I have persuaded the powers that be to take down the block, so students will have access to this app. As you can see, the student has done a wonderful job selecting images that work with his chosen locations in Google Maps. I want to click on each slide and allow you to read and view the finished product. I do want you to view this final slide. Here the student came up with a wonderful quote about the war and how it changed our nation. Okay, now that we have seen what Google and Jux have to offer, let's leave the student example and go back to and start making our own. To access Google Maps, you first have to go to the Google homepage. At this point, you have a decision to make. If you are not a member of Google, you will have the option to say you will not have the option to save any of your work or make alterations to images or maps within Google. Becoming a member is easy. All you have to do is click on the sign in button located in the top right corner here. There you will have the option of either logging in if you are a member or signing up. To sign up, you will simply have to type in your first name, your last name, come up with a username and a password, and in no time you will be a member. And to do that, you click on this button right here. But I am going to go ahead and sign in since I am a member. I'm going to type in my email address, type in my password, click sign in. And once you're signed in, you're going to click on Maps. Now you can click on the My Places tab, as you see here. As you can see, I have a series of maps that have been made by my students. First, what we're going to do now is click on Create the Map button. It's hard to miss since it's the big red button on the page. Click on that. Now we are ready to start making our map. Here you will create or add a title, and you also have the option to create a description of your project. Also, the public and unlisted option, as you see down here. This is very important because this means that if you leave it to the public, the whole world will have access to whatever you create. I would recommend the unlisted option because you always have the chance to share it with those that you authorize or give a link. So I'm going to go ahead and click unlisted, and I'm going to do my title. We'll type this in as first map. Give you guys a second there to type in your title. It can be whatever you want. If you would like to add a description, that's fine. Once you've done that, click save. First, what I want you guys to do is begin finding places. To do this, you're going to click in the search box. I want you to type in your home address. I'll go ahead and type in mine. You can either click enter at this point or click the search button. As you can see, when I click on this, it'll bring up an address that's close to yours. But as you can see, it says my home is right in the middle of the road. Rural areas like we live in or anyone lives in will not be very accurate, and this is a drawback to Google Maps. Also, the images from Google Maps are about 5 years old, so they're dated. But to go ahead and to pinpoint your home, just scroll around and you can find it. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll, and my home is right here. Now to pinpoint your home, I want you to make a place mark selection. This is a place mark selection. It looks like a small balloon. Just click that. You're going to drag your mouse down, get it right where you want it, and click. Now once you do this, you're going to have the option of adding a title. I'm going to go ahead and give mine a title of home and adding a description. You can also click, if you click this rich text button, you're going to have the option of clicking on this little balloon and adding an image. But we'll not get to that right now. Something I'll let you play with later on. Click OK. And now you're going to see that you have it saved right over here. Once you have that, I want you to click Save. Again, if you click done, it's going to finish your map, but you always have the option to come back in and edit your maps. Now I want you to take a moment and type in your work address. Once you have that location brought up, I want you to put a marker on it and then click save. If you have that finished, now this is a good time also to explore your the tab options of Google Maps. The tab options are located here on the right side of the page. Putting your mouse cursor over the map square will give you a drop down list, and we're going to click on photos. Once you click on photos, you're going to see that it gives you another search option to click on specific names that will bring up related pics. Now zooming in or zooming out will show you more images depending on where you are on the map. As you can see there, we have more images. For our purpose, I'm going to click on an image and show you how to use that image for our JUX. So you're going to click on the picture you want to use. Once that image loads up, you're going to click open the view and panorama option. Here it will give you a bigger image to view, and you will also have access to other images if there are any that are related to the one that they've clicked on. Now, simple right click of the mouse will give you the options you need. You're going to click Save As. Remember that if you are working on a computer that you regularly do not use, that you will need to save this image to a flash drive or similar device. If you teach in the Whitley County School District, you will be able to save it to your Z drive. I'm going to click this and save it in my pictures. I'm going to type in cabin. Just give it a name and click Save. And now you have that picture ready to use at a later time. Okay, now that we have our image saved in Google Maps, we're ready to move on to JUX and see how we can use it to display the work we just completed. To access JUX, simply go to www.jux.com. You can see I'm already here. To create a JUX account is very simple. You click on the sign in. Once that loads up, if you're not a member, you simply type in your email address and a password and click sign in, and you are now a member of the JUX world. Or you can log in using your Facebook. For me, I'm going to go ahead and log in. I use my Gmail since I use JUX and Gmail together. Go ahead and log in. As you can see, I have several JUX videos that have been completed by my students. But we're going to learn here how to make one of our own. And to do this, we click on this little circle here. It has the plus in the center of it. So we click on that. Now you have the option to create a variety of products from videos to articles. But for our purposes, let's click on slideshow. Now, all these will work in the same way. You have the option of adding your own pictures and your own text. Here's the foundation for all of your JUXing. You have the option for adding, like I said, additional slides. You have the option of adding text, a title, and you have the option of adding your own images. To add your own image, simply click on the picture. You're going to have a variety of options to pull images from. Flickr, which is a product of Yahoo, has great choices. You have to become a member of that. Instagram, Facebook, and of course the URL if you have a photo on a specific site and you have the URL for that. But for our purpose, we're going to use the images we saved from Google Maps, and to do that you click on the Upload tab. You're going to click on the Pick Photos, And this is going to bring up everything that you have saved. Now, if it's on your flash drive, you can access it. This is on my hard drive. Now, once there's cabin, I'm going to click on that image, open. Once that image is up, it's going to put it into your JUX. Simply click the back button. All you now have to do now is add your title. You have that option, and you can add text to go along with it. I'm going to go ahead and type in just a general summary of that. Now, just remember, you're at school, you're going to have the options are going to kind of be limited as far as what you can use with Instagram or Facebook. You have the option here of sharing this via email. You can embed it in a video file. You can share it on Facebook or in Twitter. Again, remember that at school you're going to be limited, but once you're at home, you will have that option to share it with whomever you want. And once you have this completed, if you're done and don't want to add any additional slides, simply click Done, and you have created a JUX using an image from Google Maps. Now here's your dashboard. Again, it's going to list all the JUX that have been created. Here's the one we just created with cabin, and it pops up our JUX. Okay, now that we have completed our JUX and our Google Map, I wanted to give you just a little screenshot here of for information purposes. This is the Google Education homepage. Here you will have access to a variety of resources and lesson plans and activity ideas for Google Maps. So you will not have to start from scratch. This is just a great starting point for Google Maps. Now it's time to for a little work or play, ever how you want to see it. I would like for you to complete a Google Map. Now you can just add to the one that we've already started. As you can see, here's the one that we already got started. On the map, I'd like for you to add at least 4 more locations. These locations can be anything: homework, family members, vacation spots, whatever. Also, I would like for you to place mark 5 photos that you would like to save, and then I would like for you to save those images, like I showed you, so we can use those as we get into JUX. And once you have your map finished, I would like for you to go over to JUX. And here I would like for you to create your digital story using those 5 images from Google Maps. Remember, add you a good description and be creative, have fun, explore all the options that you have, and remember, think like a student.